Welcome to the Odd Pod, where we're talking Kitchener Rangers hockey with the AudBalls themselves, Andrew and Justin. Take it away, fellas.
Hey, Andrew. Hey, Justin. Points in 9 straight. 4 straight wins. What are we? A wagon. We're a wagon. We were worried that we cursed them. Then last week we were like, there's no curse. Yeah. And now I'm like, maybe we blessed them. We are the blessing of the Odd Pod. Oh, the Odd Pod era. We're going to take credit.
Yes, absolutely.
As anyone should.
We don't even have a good, bad, and the ugly this week.
Not one.
We can't even do one.
We can't even do it.
We have to do 3 stars.
Oh, I was like, another 3 stars?
Exhausting.
Oh, man. I'm really excited about this team.
Me too.
I can't believe that this just all turned on a dime. That's what it feels like.
It does.
Honestly, it felt like when we said, like, if this 12-2, if they smarten up after this, it'll just, the season will turn around, and it did.
It did.
Yeah.
They took that beating to heart.
Yeah.
They had the poops.
They had the poops.
They came back.
They wiped. They used the tushy. I'm a big fan. All right, let's try and get a sponsorship.
Sponsors a tushy.
It's not even a sponsorship here.
No, we'll take it though.
I'm telling you.
I don't have one.
You got to get one.
Okay,
cool.
You brought in a story for us.
I did. Story time. Last week, I just broke down a game that you didn't watch.
I forgot about that one.
That was my story time. This week, I'm actually doing a little bit of a history lesson.
Oh.
Hey, Justin.
Hey, Andrew.
Do you know why the Kitchener Rangers share the name and uniform of the New York Rangers?
I might have a vague idea, but not really. I'm going to say no. For fun.
So let's hasten back to the year 1947.
1947.
The Guelph-Biltmore Mad Hatters are established. Yeah, that's real. That's the name. I don't know how it didn't stick. So, let's get some ragtimey music in here. And in 1960, they were sold and rebranded as the Guelph Royals because the Royal City, Guelph, right?
Oh.
In 1963, Eugene George, important name, you're going to want to remember that one, and a group of Kitchener businessmen brought the Guelph Royals, a farm team of the NHL's New York Rangers, to Kitchener and renamed them the Kitchener Rangers Junior A Hockey Club. The New York Rangers sponsorship of the team ended in 1967.
4 years later?
4 years later.
That's not very long.
No. With the expansion of the NHL's original 6 era.
Oh.
Okay? So on July 7th, 1967, Eugene George agreed to purchase the team from the New York Rangers for a sum of $1. He declined the opportunity for private ownership, but instead turned the team over to the community through the creation of a not-for-profit organization. And that is why they're wearing EBG63 patch on their jerseys this year. Because he is a champion of the community, and he said, you know what, for $1, I'm going to buy this team and give it to Kitchener.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's like hockey Robin Hood.
And this is why there's no owner.
That is
the
exactly
Rangers.
Why. It's a publicly owned team.
This is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now I feel all snug in my jammies and tucked into bed and
good
with that little story. So let's should we recap some games?
Let's recap some games.
So we have 3 games to recap.
You're Scottish again.
Oh, because of the Royals. I got thinking about it. Game recap. We started our Friday night.
Yes.
With the Niagara Ice Dogs, which we won 4-2.
The Andrew Vermeulen revenge game.
Yes.
Former Ice Dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we had 2 games in a row against the Guelph Storm. One in Guelph, where we won 3-2 in a shootout.
Perfect.
And then one in Kitchener, where we won 4-2.
Just got better.
Just improved.
Yep. Didn't give up that point.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was our Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's start with the Niagara Ice Dogs. Andrew, what's your first star?
My first star, the defense. 7 assists on the defense core.
Yeah.
3 from Cameron Reid. It was by far Carson Campbell's best game. By far. He had 5 shots and an assist. He had a big block. He was a physical presence. It was just Carson Campbell's best game. The captain, Matt Andonovski, had an assist. He was all over the place, as he always is.
Yeah.
And Diracolo had an assist, and he had a couple enormous blocks on the penalty kill. He was just in the lanes, clogging it up, doing what he does. As a team, they held Kevin He to 3 shots, and only one of them registered as a dangerous shot. So, which I just learned the OHL
Has tracking?
tracks that. So it is, yeah, there is a certain amount of analytics there.
Yes.
But yeah, so Kevin He might be him for sure. Looks like a great player. However, on Friday, he wasn't.
He is who?
He is who?
Kevin him?
Kevin, huh? Who's your first star?
My first star is Tanner Lamb because that was Snipe City.
You're just in love with this man.
I know. I just can't cope anymore. Like there's just too many guys.
I mean, Tanner Lamb is everything you'd want a guy taking a step from last year to be, right?
Absolutely.
They were relying on him to become who he became.
Like we've talked about him basically every episode since the season started.
The Laminator.
Yes.
I can't take credit for that.
No,
I saw that
anyways.
I saw that on Instagram.
Like this game specifically, like we have been mostly noting his exceptional passing because
Yes.
he's got the laser eyes. He's got the laminating.
I can
power.
just say he was my second star.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to give props to the defense.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Because they were facing Kevin He,
Yeah.
mostly, right?
Yes.
But Tanner Lamb, I said, who was he on the game-winning goal? Leon Lamb. That's who he was, because that was a crazy angle.
I don't understand that joke.
Leon Draisaitl scores from that angle.
Oh, I hate that joke.
But it's not a joke. Not a joke. I mean, it's kind of a joke if you're an NHL goalie and you're getting scored on from that angle, but it's, Leon Lamb on that angle. I loved it. I loved it.
You know, you've come up with some great nicknames. I don't think that one's gonna stick.
We'll see.
Okay, my second star was your first star, which was the defense.
Cute.
Specifically calling out Chromiak, who had some exceptional, he was all over Kevin He.
Oh, we'll talk about him later.
Yeah.
Got him later on for sure.
Yeah, we're out.
Chromiak is just a great player. That acquisition was huge for this team.
I had no idea at the time.
No,
how
me
great
neither.
that was going to be.
Again, we will admit we don't know things. I had no idea that this guy was going to step in and be one of the best players on the team, which is what he's in this stretch. I will say he's one of the best players on the team.
And he's a defensive defenseman.
Exactly.
Never gets the props that it
But
should.
he's starting to score points.
He also has some points now.
Yeah. So it's good.
Him and Andonovsky, specifically on Kevin He, just going back to your first star, is
Absolutely.
that's all what my second star was about. My favorite quote by the play-by-play analyst was, Andonovsky blew up Kevin He because he went into the center of the ice. I thought that was a great quote.
Yeah, it was a great quote. And I remember exactly what you're talking about. And he did. And that was, and I will say, Kevin He dished out some physical punishment as well during this game. You know, it was kind of the immovable object versus the unstoppable force at that moment.
Yeah.
And Andonovsky put him down. It was great. He was I know we don't put much stock into plus minus, but he was -1 or -2 and had nothing.
I mean, he had a breakaway.
Yeah.
This wouldn't go into your high danger chances, but he had some pretty great passes through the slot.
He is a phenomenal hockey
He's a phenomenal hockey player.
They contained him. They didn't stop him.
No.
He had chances, but they contained him.
They kept him to the outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's actually a really good segue. You brought up the breakaways. My third star is not that, but I wanted to honorable mention Parsons stopped 3 out of 4 breakaways. If you stop 3 out of 4 breakaways, is that what your third star is?
I have an honorable mention for Parsons as well.
Amazing! Look, we're in sync here. We are the oddballs. We share a brain, I think.
Mm-hmm.
My third star was the power play. They had 2 power play goals for and 0 shorthanded goals again.
Maglione.
Yes, right. It's feeling good. It's starting to look like a power play. So I'm happy about that.
Okay, my honorable mention was for Parsons going for the empty netter at the end of the game.
Oh, yes.
I was like, the balls on this guy, man.
I loved it.
I loved it,
I
too.
loved it. I would have went nuts.
And it wasn't that far off.
No, it wasn't.
It was a good shot.
And I loved all the boys coming over and congratulating him on the win, but he took off his mask and he was having a laugh.
Yeah, it was good.
About taking that shot.
It was good. My third star, me. I'm my own third star. Because remember,
okay.
we love, we like, we question.
Oh.
I'm getting we question
You're questioning.
myself.
Yeah.
Niagara's a good team.
Mm-hmm.
And last week when we were doing the recaps, I was really worried about this game going in.
Mm-hmm.
But I need to check myself. The Rangers are really good. And they've been playing really well against some of these like high offensive teams.
Yeah, and good goalies. We said that last episode.
Yeah.
They play well against good goalies.
Myself. I'm going to question myself. I'm going to take it back. I'm going to try and believe more. I'm a pessimist at heart when it comes to hockey.
Okay. Well, I mean, you are the Alberta B team fan, so that's true. One thing I wanted to point out in this game was Elena's had that power play snipe that was just like Snipe City. The commentator specifically mentioned that was an NHL level goal. It was an NHL level shot, very much so. It was through the wickets of the defenseman.
It was amazing.
It was awesome.
Yes.
And Swick had a disallowed goal and was grand larceny robbed on a breakaway with like 40 seconds left.
Yeah.
He's all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
game number 2 was the shootout win over Guelph, 3-2. My first star. So this is my third star coming into play for my first star of this game.
You broke my brain.
Yep.
No one, if I can't follow it,
No.
and we share a brain,
Yes.
how is anyone going to follow that?
My first star is allowing the first goal. It's working for us. And I'm going for it. Going with it.
Yeah, that's
We have allowed the first goal in almost every game. The only one that we have scored first in, I think, is Owen Sound, where we lost.
okay. So don't score first.
We're just not scoring first.
We're the comeback kids.
That's the first star of this game.
That's what we do.
We are allowing the first goal, and then we win.
And they actually allowed the first 2 goals.
Yeah.
They were down 2-0.
They did. Yeah.
And we were talking about that against Erie. Don't get in that hole. Don't get in that hole. Actually,
I like the hole.
we like digging out of the hole.
It's a comfy hole.
We get in the hole. We say, hey, boys, we're in a hole.
We're natural burrowers.
Exactly. Right? Marsupials. The juice has them going.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if they're down early.
Yeah.
The juice has them going. My first star, the kid, next year's number 1 starter, barring something catastrophic, Jason Schabel. Stopped 24 out of 26. Had huge saves in the overtime and stopped 2 out of 3 in the shootout.
Yeah.
Won them the game. And I just love watching someone go from getting shelled in that first OHL appearance to now I'm like, oh, it's a Schabel game. That's great. We have a really good chance of winning because he's elite for a youngster.
I literally have no worries about our goaltending.
No.
It's like, it doesn't matter who's in net. I'm happy.
It's absolutely such a pleasure to watch a tandem of goalies that I have full confidence in.
100%. I am with you all the way on this. I love watching Schabel play. What's your second star?
Talking about our guys and the way that you love Lamb, and we both love Lamb. I love Lamb. I love Lamb. Is Luke Ellenis.
Yeah.
Another guy that we just love. He had a chance early on. He nearly scored in the second, and then with 10 minutes left in the third period, make or break kind of situation, he popped one in. That's what you need. That's what you need from a guy like that. He's also playing a lot of center. He was 11 for 21 in the faceoff dot, so it's almost half, it's like it's just a little bit over, right? So it's just a little bit over half, which is what you need at least, right? And I don't know if he's a natural center.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not sure. It seems like they're rotating through guys, but he's been playing a lot of center, and he's been good.
He's been versatile.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
Sure. So that's, yeah.
And that's what you want. You want to win at least half your draws, and that's, if you look at centers at the highest level, maybe the most elite win a little bit more than that, but honestly, like, you're a good center if you're winning half your draw.
And my second star is who passed Elena's that tying goal? Mr. Grizzolia. Grizz.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Chris.
Grizz.
Yeah.
Chris Grizzolia.
Chris Golia.
I like Grizz better.
The Grizzolia Bear.
He deserved a star from this weekend's games. He was great in all 3 games.
He did.
And that's why I'm putting him here. Like me,
And he also had an insurance goal in one of these goals.
Yeah, in the next game as well.
Yeah.
He just had a fantastic weekend.
Yeah.
He seems to be fitting in with the team really well, and he's got a good eye for the game.
Absolutely.
He just can see what's coming. He's not selfish in any way. He makes the best play for the moment.
He can throw the body.
And he can throw it. What's your third?
My third star?
Yeah.
Which is, again, it's something that I like, but I question because of how many times they had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
The penalty kill.
Aha.
Guess what? Guelph didn't take any penalties in this
Well,
game.
that's my third star.
But this is what I'm saying is if they were calling it that way,
Yeah,
they killed all 4 of them.
they did.
And so that's good.
They-
Now you'd like to draw some penalties.
You'd think.
So that's kind of where I'm questioning it as well.
Yep.
But they did what they had to do.
Going forward to the next game, Guelph took 8 penalties. So I see a really strong correlation here of they took 0 and they took 8. Like,
It's almost like they had some makeup calls the next day.
yeah,
Wacky.
It felt very
What is
strange.
this, NHL playoff hockey?
That's kind of what it felt like.
Yeah.
It was a little bit of a strange. That second game, it was a bit of a snoozer. That the first Guelph game,
Yes,
the shootout.
win, yeah.
It was a bit of a snoozer. Like, I don't want to call out any officiating or whatever, but it felt like a
No.
weird game.
I mean, I will give them a little bit more benefit of the doubt than NHL refs because
Oh,
I would
absolutely.
think that it's probably almost harder to officiate the OHL level because it's fast and it's crazy and it's really physical and also like you are probably not making nearly as much as an NHL ref.
Oh,
So
absolutely
you don't want to put anyone on blast, but I do think that was a bit weird.
It was a bit weird.
A bit weird.
Okay, so game 3 was again against Guelph. We won 4-2. What's your first star?
I said that I was going to mention him. Jakub Chromiak.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 2 beautiful assists.
Yeah, he did.
He was all over the place. At one point, he almost had like a goal down low. Like he was just like, this was his best offensive game, and he was still a presence, obviously, on the blue line. It's really nice to see that they have an opportunity to roll out Andonovski on the power play. They have the opportunity to roll out Chromiak on the power play as that like PP quarterback back there. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But Chromiak, like, yeah, like all the scouting on him was that he was a defensive defenseman. But I think he had this like beautiful cross the ice. There were like 2 or 3 Storm players reading what he was doing, and he still passed it to Misiljevic. The puck ended up in the back of the net. So if you can get a defensive defenseman who's starting to put up points like this, you're going to win, 4 in a row.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been loving watching Chromiak play. It's been a delight.
What was your first star?
My first star was the Juice and his Angry Pulp, is what I'm going with the name of the assistant coaches.
Oh, okay.
His
The Angry Pulp. I don't think that's going to stick the same way Leon Lamb might not stick, but
yeah,
you tried.
it's a work in progress.
You weren't great with names. Now we find out that you're not great with nicknames. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine.
You want to know my nickname for the Juice this week?
Yeah.
5 Alive.
5.
Because we're going for 5 in a row.
Yes, we are.
And we are so alive. I got to be honest. I was a little scared that first pod back, that second episode. I was a little scared.
Yeah, I was not super comforted in the direction we were going.
Not anymore.
But no, not anymore. But yeah, no, this is the Juice and the assistant coaches. This is like the team is a delight. Obviously, all the chatter around the league preseason was that we are a bubble team at best.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it anymore. They've destroyed that preconceived notion.
Yep.
And this team is excelling.
And they're beating good teams.
They are.
It'd be different if, these sweetheart cupcakes were being marched out here and it was bottom feeders and they're just absolutely crushing them. And you're like, yeah, well, you're supposed to. No, they're playing like the class of the league in prospect.
Yes.
They're the class of the league in standings, and they are winning and putting it together.
Absolutely.
And it's like, this is a lot. This is like they're playing back to back to back and they're winning,
Yes.
right? And they don't look tired.
No.
Now, I will say last season, they were way overperforming.
Yeah.
And then there was a lull. And then they still ended up, in the top half of the league. Could that happen again? Sure, of course. But that would just mean that they're still so far ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
That just means that I think when we peak, we are going to be the dominant team in the OHL.
I agree. Okay, what's your second star?
Misiljevic, speaking of elite,
Yeah.
he has 15 points. He is the team leader in goals and assists. He's just a monster. I mean, he's just like literally running the offense runs through Misiljevic when he's on the ice.
Yeah.
He has all the tools. I didn't see this anywhere as being like projected that he was just going to be the force on the team.
No.
So I'm really excited about his progression.
I agree.
What is your second star?
My second star is the power play.
Nice.
I know you sort of mentioned this about the power play earlier, but it's like we scored 3 goals in 3 games on the power play. We didn't get any power plays in the second game. So those came in 2 games, really.
Yeah.
We didn't get scored against at all on the power play.
Exactly.
And I didn't even really see any crazy defensive lapses on the power play either. It
No.
felt like the juice and the...
My anxiety about the
pulse.
power play is gone.
Yeah.
There was a clip from last week where we were talking about how the power play might be the downfall. Within a week, it's turned around.
That was my second star. What's your third star?
My third star, I'm going to go a little bit off the board here. Not necessarily because I'm questioning it, but because I just think that this kid needs some love. Cameron Mercer.
Yeah.
Cameron Mercer is playing a role that is not glamorous on this team, and he's doing it really well. He is playing that 3C, if you want to put it, that way. He's playing that like shut down center. We're not expecting him to score points.
No.
However, he had some chances in this game. He hit the post. I really wanted it to go in for him. But the big thing was he was 9 for 13 in the dot. I mean, if you have a guy playing checking line minutes,
Yeah.
and he wins, nearly all of his faceoffs, that's going to help you win 4-2.
Typically, you're throwing out your third line when you need some minutes killed. You need everyone to get a rest. You just want the puck to not really be in your zone very much. And not only is Mercer doing that and that third line doing that, they are also getting offensive zone time.
Absolutely.
Which is amazing.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. What was your third star?
My third star, you got bone to pick with the CHL.
Wow.
We are not in the top 10 power rankings, and Brampton is still in third. You know where Brampton is in the OHL? They're like 11. They're the bottom of their own division.
I think they're going to move again.
Okay.
Because there's nobody at these Brampton games, which is sad because they have a loaded team. Like, they have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
They're not winning, but would I think that there'd be people there even if they're not winning? I think the GTA doesn't care about junior hockey, and it's sad.
It is sad. Going beyond the sadness of that, because I do agree that it is sad when people don't go see these kids play. Like,
yeah. Well, it's also just like it's affordable hockey. Like,
yeah, we don't have that outside of the OHL here. Brampton, like they have not been putting wins together.
No, they're underachieving. They're literally ranking them. I think, you know what? I think it's lazy. They're ranking them on name value alone.
They are.
Yeah.
100%. That is what their power rankings are on. Okay, I kind of understand why Niagara's in there. Obviously, I understand why Windsor's in there. Come on, Brampton can be not in there. Also, Kitchener is the second.
You want to say Windsor is in there? Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Windsor's in there. They spanked us. Whatever. We were sick, but
Windsor's gone and done that to other teams, too.
But they've gone and done that to other teams.
Yeah.
Niagara's rolling, but listen.
Yeah. Kitchener is also rolling.
Kitchener is rolling. Give us some respect. You know what,
out of the top 10, if you're going to you have 3 leagues. If you're going to put 3 OHL teams, I would 100% buy Windsor, Niagara, and the Rangers.
You know what, though? I'm gonna push back on this one. You know why? Let them sleep on us.
Yeah.
Nobody
will know.
You know what? Yeah. No, forget about it. What? We're 7-2-2.
Sleeping giants.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That was terrifying. But 7-2-2, sleep on us.
Yeah,
whatever.
great.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah, because we're not beating good teams. We're not beating like elite goalies. Yeah. Okay. Sure. No. Sure. Whatever. Yeah. It's the Rangers. Yeah. They do this. They're overachieving. Whatever. Yeah. They're a fun group. They're gonna be. Yeah. They're gonna be good in a couple of years. They're good now.
They're good right now. Preview some games.
Preview.
Sorry, had to get that out. I was so annoyed when that came out yesterday. Okay, we got 3 games. So we got Friday, Saturday, and Tuesday. I like it when we have like a midweek.
It's really nice.
So we got Erie twice. The Friday, Saturday game are against Erie Otters. And then the Tuesday game is against the Sarnia Sting.
Interesting. That's exciting. A new opponent.
Yes.
In the sense of we've seen some of these division rivals.
Yeah. Obviously, the Erie Otters, we played opening night of the season.
They look strong.
I mean, since we met them last, they've scored a lot. Sam Alfano and Peno Femes.
Yeah.
Are names that I'm pretending to know how to say.
That's okay.
Are they're points leaders on the team, 13 points apiece. They seem to have like a really strong first line or top line, including Malcolm Spence, who's another pretty strong NHL prospect for the next couple of years. That top line seems to be a thing. I don't see a lot of depth on that team.
Okay.
So
it's a stacked top line versus a deep Rangers team.
correct.
So we'll see, if we can grind them out and wear them down.
And it'll be interesting to see how now with a few games under our belts, all of our stars back from NHL camps, because obviously we were missing guys when we played them on opening night.
That's true.
So
Swick is going.
for sure.
Yeah.
So now that we have guys back, it'll be nice to see sort of how that matchup actually plays out, because I don't feel like that first game of the season was a huge indicator of
I agree.
what the matchup would be.
I agree.
So we play them twice, and then we got the Sarnia Sting. They're off to a strong start, sitting fourth in the league. We have some similar stat lines. Weirdly, 11 games, they have 36 goals and 40 against. Exact same. for both
Okay.
teams.
Okay.
So,
But they didn't get a 12-2, so
yeah, they've lost, but they did lose a lot of goals
Okay.
to Windsor as well.
Oh,
So,
all right. So
They got
quite
Windsor.
literally, this might be the mirror image here.
yeah,
That'll be a fun game.
I think this is like probably out of the games we've played so far, this is the closest matchup we're going to have
Okay.
on paper.
All right. Bring it, Sarnia.
Yeah, I'm excited. Oh, one other thing I was going to mention about Sarnia. I don't know if this is a concern or if this is like a good thing. They have no shorthanded goals for. So I don't know if they're
So
due
They're either due or they just
or they just aren't aggressive on the power, on the penalty kill.
remember this. Remember this.
I saw that and my anxiety and my glee spiked at the same time. I was like, I don't know what to do with this.
That's good
Yeah.
and scary.
And so scary. So now for our regularly scheduled section of the greatest Ranger of all time.
It's the G.R.O.A.T.
The G.R.O.A.T. The G.R.O.A.T. The G.R.O.A.T.
The G.R.O.A.T.
Who I think I go first this time.
You
don't
go
I?
first this time.
Okay. I'm going current player that I have always thought has been a very underrated player in the NHL.
Underrated in the NHL.
He's had a tough go in his career in the NHL,
Okay.
specifically recently. But as soon as I say this, you're going to know. He's a goalie.
Called it.
He's a goalie. Interestingly, one of my favorite stat lines is that he has played in 26 OHL playoff games, also 26 NHL playoff games. He played 2 seasons in the OHL, 10 seasons in the NHL.
That doesn't seem good.
That's not good.
Not necessarily a reflection of his talent.
But when he was a Ranger, he was unbelievable. He was super talented. He played 59 regular season games over 2 seasons. He had a 2.6 goals against average and a 928 save percentage.
Wow.
Now we've watched a lot of OHL games. Like everyone gets scored on all the time. There's a lot of goals.
There's a lot of goals. There's not necessarily a high number of shots.
Yeah.
So you're not getting
You're
not getting those stat lines where it's like 37 shots against and like 1 or 2 goals. You're seeing like 3 or 4. How could you possibly stop that because everything broke down?
Correct. And I'm going to guess if we're talking about stat lines today, like I feel like we're like 900 or under for save for like league-wide
A
save
lot.
percentage.
Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah.
So
You look
928,
yes.
pretty stellar.
Yeah. And even 2.6, it sounds high. It's the OHL.
Playoff games, I mentioned he played 26 playoff games, 2.47 goals against average, 941 save percentage,
That's good.
but no ships because he got Londoned. 2 years in a row, they got London.
And-
941 save percentage, and they got destroyed by London.
What year was that?
2012 and 2013. They lost to London both years.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look up that London roster. I bet you it's so obscenely stacked.
Absolutely. I was just looking at the playoff breakdown from those 2 seasons, and they just rolled everyone.
Yeah, they have a tendency to do that.
So screw you, London,
Yeah,
because you stole some great years of a terrific goaltender.
because you stole your name from a city that's better than the one you're in.
So NHL stats, 477 games played, 26 playoff games, 3 full seasons over 920 save percentage in the last 5 years, which is pretty impressive.
He's
The last
cool.
few years, he's had a rough team in front of him.
He's been injured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a tough road for him, but he was a great Ranger. And my submission for the G.R.O.A.T. this week is Mr. John Gibson.
Give it up, John Gibson.
Yeah.
All-time goalie, Rangers goalie.
Yeah, for sure.
And our first goalie G.R.O.A.T.
Yes, I'm liking to throw in some curveballs here.
I think it's good.
Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Andrew, who's your G.R.O.A.T. today?
We're going way, way back. He played for a team, just like before with the Biltmore Mad Hatters.
Oh, wow.
He played for a team that played in the odd before the Rangers did. The Kitchener Green Shirts, or the Kitchener Dutchmen. But I believe officially it was the Green Shirts. He played for the Rangers from 1963 to 1968. He captained the team for his final 2 years, in which the Rangers won the Hamilton Spectator Trophy as regular season champs. Unfortunately, they lost in the semifinals in that first year where he was, and then in the second year, the final year that he was there, they lost in the finals of the Ontario Hockey Association, this is OHA, in 7 games. So it was a tight one, but they lost. In 67-68, he had his best year ever with the Rangers. He scored 37 goals and had 93 points in 52 games. So he went off. He had 17 goals and 37 points in 19 playoff games that year that they lost in the finals in Game 7. His family is Ukrainian, but he was born in West Germany before moving to Kitchener when he was 2. All right, you still have no idea? Nobody has any idea. So because he was with the Rangers back then, and it ties back into my history lesson, he was a New York Ranger.
Oh.
During his first 2 seasons with the New York Rangers, the club and media around the country mispronounced his name. He centered the Bulldog line with Bill Fairbairn and Dave Ballin. He played his entire 14-year career with the Rangers, and he was known as an elite shutdown center specializing in faceoffs and shadowing the other team's best forwards. This was most on display in 1972 when he played in the Stanley Cup Final against the Boston Bruins. They lost in 6 games, but he held Phil Esposito without a goal in the series. Phil Esposito, all he did was score goals. He was also asked to play for Team Canada in the 1972 Summit Series, but just listen to this. He declined due to having an obligation for running a summer hockey school here.
Oh, man.
So the man...
What a good guy.
Yeah, I read that and I was just like, that's unbelievable, because he could have said Michael Jordan meme, F them kids. He didn't. And he was replaced by Bobby Clark. Wow. Of the Philadelphia Flyers. Wow. So he was chosen before Bobby Clark.
Yeah.
In the 1979 Stanley Cup playoffs, he was a key contributor as the Rangers upset the first-place New York Islanders. The 79 Islanders, they upset them and got to the Stanley Cup Finals. Unfortunately, they ran into the big red, white, and blue machine, the Montreal Canadiens, and they lost in 5 games. So he never had a cup, but I mean, he ran into like Phil Esposito's Bruins, the 70 Dynasty Canadiens, and then I will say his career ended tragically.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was the captain in his final year, and it didn't make it through the full year because on February 2nd, 1981, he suffered an eye injury when hit in the face with a puck.
Oh, man.
Never played again.
Oh.
Over his career, he played in 945 NHL games, scoring 227 goals and 678 points. And despite being a big, strong defensive center, he only accumulated 556 penalty minutes in 14 years. That's pretty good. He is technically the all-time leading playoff scorer for the Kitchener Rangers.
Oh, wow.
With 81 points in 51 playoff games.
Oh, that's insane.
Right? He is Walt Tkachuk.
I've never heard of this guy.
I know. Legend.
But huge legend.
Huge legend. I was amazed.
That's amazing. Yeah, for sure.
I will go back and say his name was pronounced Tkachuk the first year that he was in the NHL. And then somebody was like, that's not how you say his name.
Because it was probably like someone like Justin up there announcing his name.
It's true. And it's spelled Tkaczuk. So it's similar to Tkachuk's.
Yeah.
But I believe it's pronounced Tkachuk.
I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that name before, but
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of this guy. But
Yeah.
cool.
It was
Awesome.
It was quite the history lesson.
What a G.R.O.A.T.
It was a G.R.O.A.T. The G.R.O.A.T.
The G.R.O.A.T.
The greatest Ranger of all time.
We want you who are listening to get involved with this.
We need you to get involved.
We mentioned earlier, we're doing a bracket. That's the goal.
The goal is to fill a bracket.
At some point, we're going to stop naming G.R.O.A.T.s, but not before we mention your G.R.O.A.T.s. So
Give us the G.R.O.A.T.
Give us the G.R.O.A.T. Send your G.R.O.A.T.s in. We got a couple already, so that's helpful. So send your G.R.O.A.T.s in. Then we're going to seed them, and that will be later.
That will be a thing all unto itself.
And then we'll probably use the Instagrams and the TikToks, and
we will get you to vote.
We're going to get you to vote for the
G.R.O.A.T. It writes itself.
The G.R.O.A.T. vote is coming.
The G.R.O.A.T. vote.
Okay, thank yous this week. We have
The one and only,
as always,
Ken Bourne.
For all of our branding purposes, just continued
branding.
Every time we ask for something,
every time I check the drive, there's something new.
So thanks, Dad.
Hold up. I didn't realize you were a Nepa baby.
Wait, is the only reason I'm on this podcast because my dad made
a Nepa dad? I don't know how it works.
I don't know how this works.
All right.
Okay, then we have our prodigal producer, Liam.
The Phenom.
As always. Thank you to the Kitchener Public Library for having us
back. We're home.
Yeah, this feels nice.
It does feel good.
Yeah. Check us on the socials.
You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at the Odd Podcast. If you have an interesting story about the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, the Kitchener Rangers, or Kitchener Cambridge Waterloo, you can email us at theoddpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
And we'd love to hear your G.R.O.A.T.s through any of these channels. That's us for the week, so please subscribe. Do the things that they say to do at the end of podcasts.
Yeah, do all those things. Like, subscribe, engage, follow.
We like it all. We appreciate it all.
We need it all.
We need it all.
We want it all.
And as always, you can find us at
the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium.
See you at the Odd.